Hi and welcome to a new process of the needs assessment knowledge area, assemble the business case, which is again one of the defining and aligning process group processes. It can be defined as the process of synthesizing well-researched and analyzed information to support the selection of the best portfolio components, programs, or projects to address business goals and objectives. So in this process, we will organize, we will synthesize all the information we gathered in the previous processes to justify why we need this product or why we need to initiate this project or program. This can be justified in the business case. The key benefit of this process is that it helps organizations align programs and projects in consistent manner, enabling the decision makers to determine whether a program and or a project is worth the required investment or not. So think about the business case as the business justification for the decision makers in order to make a go-no-go decision regarding this product or project. So the business case actually is the project artifact or the program artifact, which will answer the question why we are having this project or why we want to create this product. It's part of the defining and aligning process group. The inputs, tools, techniques, and output for this process are shown in the figure below. We will have 6 inputs, 5 tools and techniques, and 2 outputs, the business case and the product scope that will be used in the following process to develop the project or the program or the portfolio charter. As shown from this data flow diagram, you can sense the importance of the business case and the business analysis processes. The 4 inputs we will need, or the 6 inputs we will need, will come from 4 processes. The situation statement will come from the identified problem or opportunity. Business goals and objectives and the required capabilities and features will come from the determine future state process. The feasibility study results and the recommended solution will come from the determine viable options and provide recommendation, and the product roadmap, which is an output of the facilitate product roadmap development process. You will have these 6 inputs, and the outputs of this process, which will be the business case and the product scope, will be used in more than 13 processes, 13 business analysis processes. This is why you need to have a clear, justified business case. A simple business case consists of the work performed to assemble and package the information required by key decision makers to evaluate portfolio components, programs, or projects and determine whether a portfolio component, program, or project is worth pursuing it. So, again, it answers the question why I need to invest. Imagine yourself or put yourself in the place of the decision maker or the investor, why I need to invest this value or why I need to invest this time in order to have this product. The answer should be clearly shown in the business case. A business case provides a documented economic feasibility study establishing the validity of the benefits to be delivered by a portfolio, program, or project. It presents information to establish whether the organization should address a problem or opportunity. So the documented economic feasibility study, the feasibility study that shows how this investment opportunity will bring value to the organization and the benefits associated with this opportunity, all this should be documented in the business case. The business case explores the nature of the problem or opportunity, presents its root causes or contributors to success, and looks at many facets that contribute to a complete recommendation. Much of the analysis completed during the needs assessment knowledge area is used in the development of the business case. This is why in this process, in order to assemble a proper business case, you need to use all the information gathered in the previous processes. The business case provides the key information required to establish the objectives and serves as a major input to the charter, identifying the value that is expected from pursuing the proposed change and making sure the value proposition is being clearly communicated is a critical component of the business case. So you need to identify the value which the investor or the key decision makers should expect out of this project. When a business case is produced, the organization may require the use of a standardized, pre-approved template that can be found in the organizational process assets. Often an organization has its own requirements for what to include in the business case and employs a set of templates or business case software to simplify and standardize this process. Now, what are the typically components that you can find in the business case? Starting with the problem you are going to solve or the opportunity you want to pursue with, it specify what is the prompting, the need for action. Use a situation statement or equivalent to document the business problem or opportunity to be addressed throughout a portfolio component, program, or project. So the problem or the opportunity can be found in the business case in the situation statement format. Analysis of this situation, describe how a potential solution will support and contribute to the business goals and objectives, include the root causes of the problem or the main contributors of the opportunity, the recommendation which presents the results of the feasibility analysis for each potential option, specify any constraints, assumptions, risks, and dependencies for each option, rank in order the alternatives and list the recommended ones, include why this option was recommended and why the others are not being recommended, summarize the cost-benefit analysis for the recommended option. The evaluation, which includes a plan for measuring benefits realization. This plan typically includes metrics for evaluating how the solution contributes to goals and objectives of the organization. It may necessitate additional work to capture and report those metrics. So at the minimum level, these are the 4 sections you should have in the business case: the problem or the opportunity, analysis of the current situation, your recommendation and why you recommended this option, and the evaluation and the plan of measuring how you are going to realize the benefits. When a business case is created, it becomes a valued input to the initiation of a portfolio component, program, or project, providing the project team with a concise and comprehensive view of the business need and the approved solution for that need. So even if you were not part of the business analysis team and you were assigned as the project manager, the first document you should look for is the business case. In order to manage a project or a program or a portfolio component properly, you need to understand why this was initiated. The development of a business case may be driven by many factors, including the market demand, the organizational need, a customer request, strategic opportunities, social needs, and technological advancement. Although both adaptive and predictive project life cycles recognize the business case as a key input for initiating project-related work, adaptive methods will assemble just enough of the content to get started with. This is the difference between an adaptive and predictive life cycles. In a predictive, we need to have a formal, comprehensive business case. Just enough business case in an agile or an adaptive environment will be enough. With adaptive approaches, features will continue to be added as the solution is further refined. Therefore, the business case will not contain the full list of benefits as it would in a predictive approach. Adaptive methods will estimate cost and schedule from a very high level and then progressively expand upon this information through the iterative development cycle, which predictive methods will complete all this analysis upfront. The upfront planning is the backbone theory of the predictive life cycle. Now, what are the inputs we will need for this process? We will need 6 inputs, starting with the business goals and objectives, which specify stated targets that the business is seeking to achieve. A common link between business goals and objectives and the portfolio components, programs, or projects is the business case. So how you are going to link between the portfolio, program, or project and the organizational goals and objectives, it will be the business case. Business goals and objectives are included in the business case to provide context regarding what the business expects to achieve by pursuing the proposed change or by proceeding with this opportunity. The feasibility study results are the summarized results obtained from the completion of the feasibility analysis. The results are included in the business case in order to provide supporting documents or supporting information to decision makers who will determine whether the portfolio component, program, or project should be initiated. The product roadmap provides a high-level view of product features along with the sequence in which the features will be built and delivered. The key information from the product roadmap is included within the business case to provide decision makers with insights into how the product is envisioned to evolve over time. The recommended solution option is the solution choice determined to be the best course of action for addressing this business need, and the recommended solution option is showcased within the business case along with the supporting information that provides the rationalization for its selection. So all these information were gathered or were created earlier in the needs assessment, and you need to collaborate with all stakeholders in order to have a proper business case using these 6 inputs. Number 5 will be the required capabilities and features, which will identify the list of net changes the organization will need to obtain in order to achieve the desired future state. The capabilities and features required for the recommended solution are listed in the business case to provide decision makers with insight into which capabilities and features are required when the recommended solution option being recommended is pursued. And the last input will be the situation statement, which is an objective statement of a problem or opportunity that includes the statement itself, the situation's effect on the organization, and the resulting impact. The situation statement is included in the business case to clearly communicate the problem we are trying to solve or the opportunity we want to pursue with that the proposed solution is addressing. So once we have these 6 inputs, we can kick off the business case assembling process. The tools and techniques we will be using while we are assembling the business case, starting with the document analysis, which is an elicitation technique we use to analyze the existing documentation and identify the relevant product information, which can help us in this process. When assembling a business case, documentation from several different sources is reviewed to obtain the relevant information needed in order to assemble and build the business case. We will use also the facilitated workshops, which use a structured meeting led by a skilled neutral facilitator and a carefully selected group of stakeholders in order to collaborate and work toward a stated objective. Because facilitated workshops support interactivity, collaboration, and improved communication among participants, this technique is a good choice when a team needs to elicit information and amass support to assemble the business case. The glossary, which provides a list of definitions for terms and acronyms about a product, and while assembling the business case, a glossary provides a common vocabulary about terms that the stakeholders and product team may be unfamiliar with and focuses specifically on the terms requiring clarity to understand the information inside the business case. So the glossary is a document where all the terms being used in the project will be there. Product visioning, which is a technique that the product team can use to obtain a shared understanding about the product and set a high-level direction for its development. Product visioning involves discussions to help the team evolve its ideas about the product. So mainly it is used for the development team in order to imagine how the product will be developed. The vision statement, which is an output of this technique, will provide clearly the goal and the rationale for building the solution. It's included in the business case to provide decision makers with the same understanding of the product that the team shares. And the last technique will be the story mapping, which is used to sequence the user stories in an agile environment based upon their business value and the order in which their users typically perform them, so that teams can arrive at a shared understanding of what will be built. Story maps help communicate the features and product components that the product team will be responsible for delivering. So this is a story map that is usually an output of this technique. From top to down, the priority will be reduced, so the items on the top of the list are the items with the highest value or the highest priority, and how we are going to execute these user stories starting from left to right. Product components can be assigned to product releases to communicate when features will be delivered. When included in the business case, story maps provide insightful information to those responsible for determining whether to approve the portfolio component, program, or project. Now, the two outputs of this process, starting with the business case, which provides a documented economic visibility study establishing the validity of the benefits in terms of value to be delivered by a portfolio component, program, or project. The business case is the common link between the business goals and objectives and the portfolio components, programs, or projects established to execute the business strategy. An approved business case is used as input when creating a charter to initiate a portfolio component, program, or a project, and they are assembled as one of the final process steps in the needs assessment knowledge area. The product scope, which is the second output, is defined as the features and functions that characterize a solution. Decision makers may accept the recommended option put forth in the business case, choose an alternative approach, or differ or reject the business case. Throughout an initiative, product scope may be revised in response to changing the business needs, risks, or one or more constraints imposed by the project budget or schedule. Tailoring considerations when it comes to an adaptive approach. It's not a formally named process. It's performed as part of project chartering. An initial set of features is developed with more added over time. Estimates are just detailed enough to continue, includes enough information in the business case to move forward with a decision. The visibility to the solution is validated early by delivering higher risk features in early iterations. Return on investment is attained more quickly with the predictive methods. As features are delivered iteratively, the budget might be focused on how much the sponsor has to spend instead of on an assessment of costs. The scope is determined by addressing highest prioritized features first. As features are added over time, the assessment of benefits or value will change. The deliverables will be lightweight business case that is revisited and revised. In a predictive environment, it is named as the assemble business case process. It creates a through list of product features, rigorous estimate, fully defined list of benefits, list of risks, assumptions, constraints, and dependencies, requires a formal sign-off against a fully elaborated business case. Consider the higher risk approach over adaptive methods because visibility is not validated until late in the initiative. Return on investment is attained at completion of the entire initiative, and the business case includes cost estimates. The benefits are estimated and not realized until implementation, and funding is typically sought to cover the entire product development life cycle. The deliverable will be a formal document, a formalized detailed business case. At the point of business case development, the portfolio component, program, or project is not yet initiated, but the resource who will serve as sponsor should the business case get approved is typically known. The sponsor or the proposed project or program or portfolio component sponsor is the business champion for this change. The sponsor writes the business case with the support of the BA or the project manager, or provides information to support its development, but finally it should be signed off by the sponsor who is the business champion.